and after the IV had begun at 11 PM. Let's read it, shall we? So tonight's IV is in, maybe the last, I leave the rest to them. The first should come soon, this journal may end here or it may go on. But not long, that depends on his hand. All that is left to mine is to dare. Wait, what? This does appear to have been written just before his death. Oh, that is left to mine is down to this pen or something. The court accepts this into evidence. Read the very last part with particular care. That depends on his hand. This journal may end here or it may go on, but not long, that depends on his hand. Of course, by his, he refers to our defendant, Zach Grameri. That would make sense, yes. He was the first scheduled visitor after all. Well, look at what he said before that. This journal may end here or it may go on. It may go on. Magnify Grameri intended to write again. That is, if Zach Grameri didn't pull the trigger. I see the defense understands the meaning of this. The victim's diary does not go on, it ends. Because Magnify's life was brought to an end by the defendant, Zach Grameri. Order, order, order. Prosecutor Gavin. Are you certain that Magnify Grameri wrote this? There is no mistaking his handwriting. Well, this does seem to be significant. According to this, Magnify did intend to continue his diary. Yet, if his diary ended here, which plainly it did, then the one who pulled the trigger was the first visitor, Zach Grameri. Well, how do you like me now, Hair Wright? Still too green for your tastes, I have the diary page, but I know that... you have to present it. He's right about the diary being pretty clear, still I find it hard to believe that he'd overlooked such an obvious problem with his previous evidence. What, the fact the page is missing? Well, Mr. Wright, the witness's testimony we heard was lacking, but put together with this evidence it seems quite sufficient for a case. If the diary is accepted like this, the trial's over. Maybe it's time for me to show them something. Oh god, I know this is sealing our fate. But, yep, show evidence. I'm left with no choice but to show my own evidence. What? You have some evidence that overturns this diary? It's not too late to rethink this and avoid more embarrassment. He knew. How did he know? Very well. Please show us your evidence, Mr. Wright. Incidentally, don't even think of showing us this diary I've just shown to the court. Now that we've come this far, I hope you have something a little more decisive. Show us evidence that proves the victim continued writing his diary. Alright, I'd be happy to. The decisive evidence proving that the diary didn't end with this page is... here. But, oh god. We already know it's not right, it's fake. And just like that, our fate is sealed. First, take a close look at this diary. Note that a page has been clearly ripped out. What's this? I hadn't noticed that at all. That's why we're still here talking about this. And it just so happens, I have here what I believe to be the missing page. Alec, I don't believe it. Looking at this page, it's hard to imagine that the first visitor that night shot Magnify Grameri. That's the defense's position. But wait, let me see that. So it seems fate's clock will make me wait a little longer, at least only less than 10 swift minutes remain. To all those who have supported me in my life's work, I give thanks. Farewell. Yeah, Magnify Grameri. What, in Sam Hill? Why, this is the continuation of the victim's diary. I mean, we know it's fake, so there's no getting out of that. So what happens? Note the torn edge of the page. It's a perfect match with the torn remains of the last page in Magnify's diary. Quite remarkable. Would you care to explain what all this means, Her Attorney? The diary continued after his first visitor came. which means that the victim was still alive after Zach Romeri left, leaving no one to take his life but the second visitor. Valenk Romeri. No. No! The bunnies and the birds. The handwriting, too, matches that on the other pages. This is, without a doubt, the genuine article. Yeah, but it isn't. Order, order, order. But wait, that's impossible. That old man couldn't have written that. And this is where it is. This is where it all fucks over. Or fucks us over. Finally. You just couldn't resist, could you, Herr Wright? He knew about it. Resist what? Presenting solid evidence? Oh, you just had to say that, didn't you? Herr Judge? Yes, Prosecutor Gavin? Might I request we put the current cross-examination on hold? The prosecution would like to call a new witness. But, Prosecutor Gavin, this evidence overturns the current witnesses. I ask only to put it on hold. Please, my new witness has a very, very important piece of testimony to give. 5 minutes, no more. I promise, Your Honour. Well, if you put it that way, Mr. Wright, what's your take on this? Well, Your Honour, judging from his enthusiasm, we'll have to hear this new testimony sooner or later anyway. So it might as well be sooner. Then, though this is highly, highly irregular, we will put the current cross-examination on hold. The witness may step down. Now, Prosecutor Gavin, please bring this surprise witness to the courtroom. Who's it gonna be? Vera? No. I had a bad feeling just then. That ripped-out page was too obvious. He must have known. Yeah, and I should have known it was a bad sign all around. Oh, it's Drew! Oh no. Holding trial with no audience is a first, even for me, Prosecutor Gavin. I beg the court's understanding. But I had to make a judiciary deal with the witness to secure his testimony. A judiciary deal? The details of his testimony may have some legal ramifications, shall we say. I thought it best to contain the information to this room. Very well. And you are the witness, I gather? Ah, yes. Yes, sir. State your name and occupation for the record. My name's Drew Misham. I'm a painter. A painter? And you are somehow related to this case? No, well, not per se. I have one simple question for this witness. Mr. Misham, was it? Do you know what this is? Oh, yeah. I know it well. How is that possible? Have you seen this diary page somewhere before? Oh yeah. I mean, I made it. You... what? You made it? Yes. You might call it one of my works. The Regional Prosecutor's Office received a tip-off yesterday. Illegal evidence has been prepared for the trial of Zach Romeri. Illegal evidence? I initiated an investigation and found this witness. A painter to the world at large, Drew Misham has another side, you might say. He is skilled in making perfect reproductions of certain things. Forgeries, in other words. Forgeries? Well, so... are we to understand that this page here is... a fake? Prepared by a certain defense attorney? Hey, I did not do shit. I was given it. Hold it. I didn't prepare this evidence. Ah, the attorney speaks. Something about this page, I presume. But what is he saying? It makes no sense. After all, it was you who presented this evidence to us, Phoenix Wright. Witness, Mr. Misham, was it? Who requested this forgery? Who was your client? That... I don't know. What? Most of my clients prefer to remain anonymous, even to me. I make the items they want and receive my payment. That's the extent of my contact with them. But... there's no proof this is a fake. It's a fake. Huh? To avoid just this sort of problem, I always put a special mark on my works. I can say without a doubt, this is mine. Oh dear. So that's how he lost his badge. Mr. Wright? You have just presented illegal evidence to this court. My court. It was careless of me. That's all I can say. Oh, old boy. Here. What's this? Oh no. I just got it over there in the hall. They told me to give it to the old boy in the blue suit with the spiky hair. They said it was really important. It was all a trap. A fatal trap. Mr. Wright? Yes? Do you have an explanation for yourself? If I did, would the court hear it? Probably not. Forging evidence is a serious crime, and presenting it in court a serious mistake. A fatal mistake for an attorney. Fatal too, perhaps, for your client, if I fear. Tell me, what kind of defendant relies on forged evidence? The answer is quite clear. A guilty one! I somehow knew that was coming. Your Honour, wait. I understand that presenting forged evidence in court is a serious crime, but you cannot hold my client responsible for actions I undertook as an individual. I am sorry, Mr. Wright. Your Honour? Another close call, I dare say. If the prosecutor's office hadn't received that hot tip, everything would have gone the way you wanted it to, yeah? I even gave you a chance. Too bad you decided not to think before embarrassing yourself. I see no need for further discussions on this matter. Special witness dismissed. Ah. Mr. Attorney? Yes? Could I ask your name? Phoenix Wright. Mr. Wright. I have seen and studied many people, but none like you. I'll remember you, Mr. Wright. Okay. How ever so slightly ominous. Oh boy. Though I deeply regret having to declare a verdict in this way, this trial is over. You have the right to find a new attorney and make an appeal. However, this court must... Ah, Your Honour? Yes, Mr. Zack? There is one thing I wish to make clear. Today, in this courtroom, you cannot declare me guilty. It is impossible. I'm afraid the defendant is quite mistaken. I most certainly have the authority to declare a verdict on you. Except, tell me, how do you plan on announcing your verdict when your defendant does not exist? Doesn't exist? What are you talking about? I am talking about this. The what? Mr. Enigma. The defendant's escaped. Find him quick. Bailiff, close all exits from the building. Wow, he actually did just disappear. On the double. He must not be allowed to escape. Jesus. That day in that courtroom, a miracle occurred. The defendant, Shady Enigma, aka Zack Rameri, did not just escape from the court. He literally, unbelievably, vanished. Right before the bailiff's eyes. No one ever saw him again, not since that day. This is the Rameri miracle. To be continued? No, maybe not. No verdict was declared. After all, the defendant didn't exist. That's how it happened. The trial of magician Zack Rameri vanished along with him for all eternity. As well as Phoenix's attorney's badge. That's a nice chair. The mysteries that remained behind were all solved, however. But not until 7 years later. There we go, to be continued. Oh god, this is going to be the longest investigation. I might just say screw it and try and do the rest of the game. It's going to be a long session. I mean, I think it will. Hang on, how long's the last part? Pardon me. It's not super duper long, really. Actually, no, it isn't. It's all whether or not the investigation's gonna be really long. We'll find out. I've got a really bad throat, though. It's probably from talking too much. Let's just hope that my voice does not give out. Right, no, I don't want to save. That trial 7 years ago was the beginning of it all. This I know beyond a doubt. The mysteries of the past work their magic on the present. But you'll soon be finding all of this out for yourself. Whoa. Which of Magnified Grimmary's discipled pulled that trigger? What happened to Shadi Grimmary? Zach Grimmary. Shadi Enigma is his name, not fucking... God, I'm an idiot. Where did the vanishing defendant, Zach Grimmary, go? What dark truth lurks behind the forged diary page? And what about the girl who was left behind? Yeah, poor Trucy. Whoa, oh god, it's like a title screen. That is weird. The Mason system. This is probably one of the coolest. There we go. No, this is probably one of the coolest investigations. We don't actually move anywhere. We jump between the past and the present. The past left us these 4 keys to unlocking the truth. Yeah, it's essentially like 8 memories, I believe. There we go. But that's not all. There are 4 keys in the present as well. When all the questions have found their answers, the final trial will begin. But first, you must chase the truth through then and now. Think of it as a game. Would you like to play a game? I would indeed. This is, as I say, one of the coolest investigations. I, Phoenix Wright, will be your guide through this game. That terrible trial saw me present forged evidence. It ended, half-finished, when the defendant vanished. What became of me after that? As your investigation proceeds, the answers will become clear. Oh, and one more thing. There is something I must tell you. As Apollo Justice has his bracelet, so too do I have my own weapon of sorts. Oh, right, yeah, the Magatama. My Magatama. What does it do, you ask? It lets you see people's hearts. I would have you see for yourself. Well now, shall we begin? Touch the arrow to switch between past and present. Well, let's begin 7 years ago, in the past. It is right after my last trial came to an abrupt end. Now that you know the game, let's play. Oh man, it's weird that he has to explain the Magatama though. It's like, I have my own weapon. It's like, yeah dude, we know. I've played through all the other games. It's if you started on this one, I suppose. Cool! That's pretty cool. The nightmare trial was over. So, and the new nightmare of figuring out what had happened had just begun. I wanted to wake up to walk away. But I figured I'm the only one who could do this, probably. And besides, I had plenty of time. Thanks to the Bar Association Review Board's decision. It's hard to work when your attorney's badge has been taken away. Right, so we have 7 years ago in the detention centre. Okay. What strange sight doth mine eyes behold? Excuse me? 2 men on either side of a single transparent pane. Yet it seems fickle, fate has switched sides, so to speak. The forger of fakes walks freely, while the innocent languishes within these flexiglass confines. There's been no proof that I forged anything, nor proof that I took the life of my dear mentor. Yet, these chains cannot hold me for long. The stage awaits. And what, may I ask, awaits you? A little piano in a cold little hole in the wall. But since you are here, what shall we discuss? The shooting of Magnified Grimmary, for one. Who pulled that trigger, Valant or his partner Zach? His partner vanished before the answer could be found. If I'm going to get any closer to the truth, this is the place to start. Oh, I can end the search. Okay, yeah. We'll do that first. You have to do it in a very specific order. I didn't realise I could go here first. No, I just assumed the ones that were blue I couldn't go to. Right, there we go. We want to go to the right and code law offices. Okay, so 7 years ago. Oh, morning, Daddy. I'm so glad you came. You okay, Daddy? They picking on you? I'm fine, as always. This old boy is here to help me, after all. That's young man to you. Good morning. That's a cute outfit you have on. Thanks. My first roast today, after all. God, look at her. 2 weeks had passed since then. I called her into my office. Oh, she's sad. Trucy, there's something we need to talk about. It's been 2 weeks since your father disappeared. We need to start thinking about your future. I, did some calling around. This is hard to say, but you have no living relatives. So... I was wondering if you wanted to stay with me for a while. Just until your daddy comes home. It won't be long. I hope. Of course, it's totally your choice. If you don't like it here, you can go wherever you'd like. I can look up some places you might like to stay at. This is so weird. Mr. Attorney, Daddy told me about you. He said I could trust you. Huh? Really? So if I stay here, does that mean you'll be my family? Huh? I guess so. Getting weirder. Mr. Attorney? Actually, why don't you call me Nick? Or you can call me Daddy if you like. It doesn't have to be today or anything. Okay. Say Daddy. That was quick. Yes. If I move here, I have to switch schools, right? And I was thinking, I haven't paid for lunches at my last school for a year. So thanks, Daddy. Ah. Oh, and this office? It's a little bar. A little colour goes a long way, you know? Ah. Oh, and Daddy, you got fired from work, right? Don't worry one bit. Oh, don't you worry one bit. I'll work twice as hard, we'll make it through this. Trucy, how old are you? Oh, I'm 8. So she's 15, okay. But don't let appearances deceive you. I'm a young professional. Stick with me and you'll do... This is so weird. And you'll do just fine, Daddy. Ah, thanks. Why does it feel like she's already in charge? Wow, alright. Jesus. So, the office? So, Daddy, you got fired from being a lawyer, right? You could at least kind of look aside or something when you say that. It's actually kind of hard for me. For Daddy. Oh, I'm sorry, Daddy. Wait, is that foolish pride? My other daddy always used to talk about that. Actually, that's pretty accurate. So here's my idea. We'll make a new office. Law just seems so stiff, doesn't it? And no one will be my friend at school that way. Oh, pardon me. Well, that won't do, I guess. I just don't know much about anything other than law. Or even much about law, if you were to ask some people. Maybe the problem is calling it an office. We should run an agency instead. You mean, like a talent agency? Forgive me for asking, but doesn't that require talent? You've got me, don't you? I'm a professional. A professional? Yep. After all, I am directly descended from the famous Zach Grameri. Directly descended. He's your father. Oh. And now I'm directly descended from the famous Phoenix Wright, too. I think an 8-year-old just massaged my ego. So there we go. Could you tell me a bit more about... Oh, about your daddy? Zach Grameri? Sure thing, Daddy. Oh god, this is weird. Which daddy was that again? Daddy's so amazing. The biggest star of Troop Grameri. And they're big. The Grameris. They're on television a lot. Haven't seen them on much recently, come to think of it. Big magic happens when you put Zach and Valent Grameri together, you know? Once they made a giant waterfall right there on the stage. And this giant trout swam up the giant waterfall. Let me guess. There was a giant fisherman waiting for him at the top. I wish I could have seen more of Daddy's magic. Oh dear. I shouldn't have brought it up so soon. I wonder what will happen to me without Daddy and Mummy both gone. Or with them both gone. Mummy? Yeah, what about Mummy? I haven't heard anything about Trucy's mother. But I have my magic, and a great daddy, even if he is unemployed. You know, I think things are going to be okay. I wonder if she'll talk about her mother. The professional. So, Trucy, you're a professional. Yes, it's like that thing they say. Baby frogs grow up to be frogs. They say that? I always thought it was funny, though. What was? Aren't baby frogs called tadpoles? I mean, yeah. Maybe they thought it would be easier to understand that way for kids. How stupid. Right. So, in conclusion, you're a professional magician, Trucy. That's right. Well, wanna see a trick? You're going to do a magic trick. Please show me. Actually, I would like to see your trick. The future of the agency depends on it, after all. That's the spirit. Ready? Here goes. Ta-da! Oh man, it's the same one. Oh, it's not quite as subtle because you can see her cloak moving. Hey folks, it's Mr. Hat. I gotta say, it's good to be seen. I've also just realised, Mr. Hat looks exactly like her father. Well, that sounded weirder than anticipated. He's not a wooden puppet, but I mean, like, he's got the tash and the same suit. And the colours. Except the colour changed to blue. Well, that was startling. I wonder, did the colour change to blue because of Phoenix? Because hers is red, just like Shoddy, and then in current day, it's blue, like Phoenix. I don't know if that's actually intentional, but that's pretty cool if that's the case. The amazing Mr. Hat, isn't he great? Your friendly neighbourhood Mr. Hat, at your service. He certainly makes an impression. Doesn't he? I'm so glad you like him, Daddy. Though my routines do get a bit heady at times. Get it? Heady? My friendly neighbourhood Mr. Hat nearly gave me a heart attack. He looks really sad there. Poor Mr. Hat. Oh, amazing Mr. Hat. Okay, so what about her mother? Her mother. Could you tell me about your mummy, if it's okay? Mummy was so pretty. She was like an angel up on stage. On stage? You mean with your daddy? Yep. She was always there with Zack and Valent, smiling. But then, she went away. Went away. It was a grand illusion. But she made a mistake. She vanished, and I guess she didn't know how to get back. Oh dear. Maybe so. I cried then. A lot. That's when Daddy gave me... this. Here. Oh! Whoa. This is your mother? She's beautiful. Looks very familiar too. Her name's Thalissa. Thalassa, even. Thalassa Gromeri. Poor girl. I didn't know her mummy had gone missing. Now her daddy's vanished too, right before her eyes. Hey Daddy, you won't... Don't worry, I won't vanish, I promise. Right, you can't even do magic. You're like a backup plan. Daddy always said to have a backup plan. I guess all I rate as is a backup plan. So we got Tracy's locket added to the court record. Nice! So I think that's probably enough for today. Sorry to ask you so much all at once like that. It's okay, after all, we're family. I just hope you're ready. The Wright Talent Agency opens tomorrow. What? But are we representing anyone? Me and you, that makes two, Daddy. I think you need more than that to make an agency. Besides, you may be a magician, but I'm no talent. Oh, I'm sure there's something you're good at. Well, when you put it that way. You mean you don't have any tricks? No old standbys? This will not do. A boy should always have a trick or two in his pocket. Okay, I'll think of something. That's the spirit. See you bright and early tomorrow, Daddy. Oh god. I like how she looks away as well. Welcome to the team, Daddy-o. The team? Right. There we go. That's one memory down. Sometimes when magicians vanish, they leave something behind. That's how Trucy became Trucy Wright, my daughter. To be honest, I was pretty lost those first few days. Thinking back on it, it was a pretty dark time in my life. But Trucy, happy, smiling, Trucy, she was my light. Aw, isn't that sweet? Defendant lobby number 2. Oh, there we go, it's ticked. Does that mean we're done there? I guess so. Oh man, back in the cart. Didn't think I'd be back here for a while. I didn't want to have to remember that day. Though I deeply regret having to declare a verdict in this way, this trial is over. Ah, Your Honour? Yes, Mr. Zack? There is one thing I wish to make clear. Today, in this courtroom, you cannot declare me guilty. What are you talking about? I am talking about this. Like how it always gives you flashbacks, although this is, you know, on the assumption that you hadn't played the game directly.